Let's go. What up, people? My name is Sakurazaki Endgame, and today I want to talk about my issues and problems with the Shaman class in World of Warcraft, mostly dealing with Elemental. A little background of myself for credibility. So, I've been playing maining Shaman since Cataclysm, the beginning of Cataclysm, and so it's been about, what would that be, 11 years now? 10, 11 years? And I have been at least 2K and every rated PvP thing. I've had every ahead of the curve except for Udyr, because I didn't raid the first tier of BFA. And I have a few cutting edge. I have a couple of had a couple of rank 1 parses. They didn't really last too long because it was only by like 1 DPS or something stupid like that. Um, so I usually parse pretty decently, so I don't know, I think that gives me some kind of credibility besides the fact I've been playing the spec for like 10 fucking years. Anyway, since Shadowlands getting delayed, I figured this would be a perfect time to want to discuss issues with the specs, and this is the first time I've ever done a video like this, so welcome to the channel. Hopefully I can continue to do more things like this depending on how it's received and whatnot, because I want to do more YouTube content because I haven't done anything since Nighthold. So just to start off with, I want to talk about the unpruning, pruning, repruning, however you want to call it. Right, so the spec elemental really didn't get anything added back to it that's really useful compared to like Death Knight's getting AMZ back and mages getting alter time back, something like pretty critical. So you just go through here. So flame tongue weapon, right? So flame tongue weapon is really meant for enhance, and that's basically all it's really used for. But flame tongue weapon used to do for elemental, though, I think in general, it used to give 10% spell power. And I would like to see that come back or something along the lines with it. Like they can easily add a flame tongue weapon rank 2 for enhance. And just for Resto too, Resto used to have its own weapon imbued too. I think it was called Earth Living Weapon, if I recall. And I would just like to see weapon imbues come back for the specific specs, because, you know, it just doesn't do anything. Let's see here, where is it? Healing Stream Tone is probably the most useful one that Ellie got back, but really, its use is really for only PvP, because you're not really going to drop it in Raid. I think it's a global too. Like, you're not going to really spare the global to drop a healing stream total unless you're moving, but if you know your main goal is to DPS, why would you drop a healing stream total if you're moving? You're going to be doing DPS while you're moving. It's just kind of pointless. Um, Lightning shield, not really useful either. Um, only useful in PvP, but you're not really going to use that in PvP anyway, because most likely you're going to be spec'd into Earth Shield, and you can't have Lightning Shield and Earth Shield on at the same time, so there you go. Where's the other one? Chain Heal. Chain Heal's not better than Healing Surge. Only in like a maybe stacking raid scenario, but really, if you need to heal yourself, you probably want a Healing Surge anyway. So, there you go. So, really didn't get anything. Not really. And, you know, a lot of classes got a lot of good shit back, and we just got nothing. Like, a lot, I mean, I should say that, but a lot of classes of specs really have not changed except for, like, 3. The only people that's changed from BFA to Shadowlands is, like, Enhanced Shaman, Shadow Priest, and Warrior. Sort of. Alright, so... And you look at the talents, it's like, same thing, basically. This static discharge doesn't really do anything, and the issue with static discharge is it's tied to flame shock, and the issue with flame shock, because they reduced the time of flame shock, right? So you can put one flame shock on that target, then you gotta wait 5 fucking seconds, and then you put the other one on, right? And then you wait another 5 fucking seconds, and by the time you get to put your other flame shock on, This one's at 5 seconds, so you gotta reapply it. So this is only ever going to realistically hit 2 people unless you take, shit, I lost it. Unless you take, Necrolord, right? We're gonna get into Covenants in here in a bit, but unless you take the Necrolord one, so you can put it on a third target, and it's only gonna trigger for like 5 seconds, which I mean, I guess you got 3 seconds to do it. So that's the only way you'll ever get max damage out of this talent, and so what? It does 600 every 1 second. No, I'm sorry. It does 400 about every 1 second. So this whole thing, single target wise, if my math is right, I'm terrible at math. Should do 1.3, so it does 4 times 3, so it does 12, right? So on 3 targets, it should do 12 times 3, so it should do 3.6k on average on 3 targets, right? Every 30 seconds. That is literally 1 lava burst. 4k. Because I got the overload. So my lava burst, 1 extra lava burst just did more damage than the whole fucking talent. Not a good talent. Right, Aftershock, basically still the same. Doesn't... Echoing Shock's nice addition. It does the holy number of elemental damage for me right now. It's just a nice addition. I got no complaints about Elemental Shock. Elemental Blast. I like that Elemental Blast does generate Maelstrom now, so it has a use. My thing with Elemental Blast is that it's just wherever they put it, it's usually not better than your other options. Like, I just feel Elemental Blast should just be baseline. Echo the Element should be baseline, like, and it should just be. I feel like every shaman thing that I have seen personally has always mentioned that Echo the Element should be baseline, and I feel like every elemental shaman that has played this game since this talent has came out has said Echo the Element's baseline, and I don't understand why they just will not do it. It just if there's one thing we want, it's that. Throwing that out there. But yeah, this is usually not better than something they threw out, and from playing both of these, I still just like Elemental Blast, but I know Elemental Blast does not beat out Echoing Shock because of what you can do with Echoing Shock, right? So let me see here. Where is my Echoing Shock, right? I got Mastery Element, dank. So, do that. Do this. Yeah, I'm clicking. I don't normally click. Right, so... You can't beat that. It only does 1.4. You can't beat that. That was essentially 400% lava. No, I'm sorry, is that still 150? Yes, 150. That was 600. That was technically 600% lightning bolt damage thrown out in like a second. You can't beat that. The only way I can see this being better, actually it's a 30-second cooldown. That's pretty fucking decent. Yeah, I just don't know what they can do to it. Make it baseline. Make the buffs actually matter. Like, I don't know. I think this should just be damage instead of like crit, haste, or mastery. Just buff your damage, you know, and not versatility. I mean, buff your damage. Spirit Wolf, it has to ramp up. It's a decent, like, this is a whole defensive row. The Spirit Wolf has to ramp up. That's kind of the whole spec. The whole spec is ramping. Not good. And Earth Shield replaces Lightning Shield. And Static Charge, PvE talent. Don't really even use this ever. And then the issue with Static Charge falls into totems if you want to play this in PvP, which I'll get into in a bit here too. Mastery Element, same thing. I don't understand why it has nature. I know why it has nature, because Earthquake is fucking nature, but that doesn't make any sense to begin with. I don't know why Earthquake is not just nature damage. It doesn't... It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I don't understand why shamans have nature spells. I don't know why Storm Strike is nature to begin with, and I don't know why Earthquake is nature to begin with. It just does not make sense. It just doesn't. Just make Earthquake nature and just get this out of here. Anyway, Storm Elemental, same. Liquid Magma Totem. I got something for Liquid Magma Totem, but this basically doesn't change. It's just saddle Liquid Magma Totem that doesn't ever really get used, except at the beginning, because then you just stop using it after you get more stats. This roll isn't higher. This roll is completely the same. However, we got Ancestral's Guidance, and that's off the global, which is cool because that's going to buff our DPS by so much. You know, and so many classes got DPS cooldowns off, but we got this thing that nobody ever really used to begin with, but Fire Elemental is still on a global. So just think about that one. Surge Power, play the same. Only really decent in funneling situations to apply more flame shocks, flame strikes. Primal Elementalist, still the same. Ice Fury, still the same, even though they buffed it by like 100%, still the same. Ascendant, still the same, besides that it just lobs a meatball when you pop it, so that's great. Stormkeeper still the same, Unholy Power still the same, right? So a lot of classes are still like that. But like this is an expansion, right? So if you think like just I want to compare Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft a lot because they're like the two biggest MMOs, right? And most people that play World of Warcraft, they'll either play Final Fantasy, or most people that quit to go play Final Fantasy if they do decide to pursue another MMO. And in Final Fantasy, you know, they not Final Fantasy. So in World of Warcraft, they homogenize all the classes. So most of the classes play like Builder Spender, and so I guess just to make it easier for people, I guess maybe I don't really know why they did that. But if you go into like Final Fantasy 14, no class plays the same, no specialization plays the same, and I always have a blast playing Final Fantasy 14, like always. I don't ever play it because none of my friends play it, but I always have fun playing it when I do play it at like the end of an expansion. So I would love to see that for WoW. I would love to see Final Fantasy 14 class design in this game because that'll just take this game to like the next level. And I think that'll actually bring back a little bit of what people want back. Alright, still on talents, let's go to PvP talents. Right? None of these have changed. This has changed to be flame shock damage. Because it used to be lava burst damage, 25%. But literally this whole entire thing has not changed. And I don't think there's actually been any PvP talent changes for majority of the classes. Except for like 5. Maybe. They didn't even change these when we were doing Fulmination. Like, even during the whole Fulmination period, this talent right here still said Fulmination. I mean, it still said Maelstrom instead of saying Fulmination, so there you go. That shows you how much they care about PvP. You never take this. You only take this if you're in a very niche situation, like Lumber Mill for Arathi Basin, or maybe you're playing Blade's Edge Arena and you want to surprise people and knock them off the bridge if they know where to stand so they don't get knocked off the bridge if they're going to tunnel you. You can maybe do that. Spectre Recovery, it's a ramp, right? So it gives you 3% every 2 seconds, but you usually die in a stun. So if you're lucky, you'll have being Ghost Wolf get stunned. You'll have 20% damage reduction, and then you'll be getting 3%. So you get 6% heal because the stun's gonna be like 5 seconds if it's not DR. So I mean, there you go. I guess very situational. Sky Fury totem issue. It's a totem. But it's a good totem. It's just a totem. Counter Strike totem. It's a totem. Purify Water, really only good if you're playing classes that have a lot of buffs. Grounding Totem, I don't know why Grounding Totem is not just baseline. It should just be baseline, like it always has been. Um, I was this right here. Grounding Totem could be a shaman utility thing for a raid. Like this right here could act as an immunity, so to speak, because it used not like it used to, but like I remember in Throne of Thunder, heroic Throne of Thunder, uh, for Darumu, like that was like the one fight where you could stack shamans and it just completely negated a mechanic, and it was and LA Shaman was really good for the ice walls for that fight too, and that was like the most fun I've ever had in this game is that fight, because I was actually useful again for once, and that felt great. Swelling waves. I mean, what? Healing surge hits me for like what? What was I hit before? 2.8, so 50% of 2.8. 3 fucking seconds later, so it's a ramp up. You don't even get it immediately. So you can die before that other heal even goes off. And then it's going to be reduced heal. So it's going to be reduced heal on top of more reduction from dampening. Unless you're in a battleground. But if you're in a battleground, you won't take it anyway. Control of lava. It's tied to Flame Shock now, and you lose Lava Surge, so Flame Shock can be dispelled. Like, I understand the purpose behind this, but it just pushes an LSD meta agenda rather than just just playing LA Shaman with anything kind of agenda, because you'll play this, you'll play Skybreaker's Demise, and you'll just do much stuff with Fire Elemental. It's like it's supposed to be a Flame Shock build, which it's not well. And Lightning Lasso, still great, still always taken. Um, so and none of these fix. I feel like PvP talent should fix or help out issues that the spec has in that given endeavor. So I know how like it used to be what utility, survivability, and damage, and I think like honestly talent should just go back to that way. That's my opinion. But like make these actually fucking useful. Um, so like survivability, enhance can't Ellie, I say enhance. Shaman cannot survive. It does not survive. It has the weakest low. It has the weakest survivability out of any class in the game, right? Because it doesn't have some form of immunity or some form of quick DR or a form of big DR, right? Every class either has a massive absorb or an immunity or some way to prevent 100% of damage some kind of way, right? Like warriors have die by the sword, which parries 100% of damage and reduces 20% of damage, so that helps with spellcasters. But they also have spell reflect, which reduces all the spells for like 3 seconds, right? Demon hunters can talent into immunity. Monks have karma and dampen harm, and the magic dispersion that I just blanked on. I know the name of it, but I blanked on it. Shadow priests have dispersion. Mages have ice blocks. Druids can go bear form and also heal themselves, and also can take Heart of the Wild and become a tank and become a resto druid. There you go. Death Knights have AMS, AMZ, Icebound, Lichborn. Paladins have Bubble and Absorb. I already covered that shit. Rogues have Cloak Vanish. Cloak Vanish evade. Harry went over Demon Hunter. Why am I forgetting some Warlocks? Warlocks have gates, teleports, scramble CC, a DR, a 40% DR that's like I think the same as I think it's the same as Astral Shift, but they also have coil, AoE fear, a stun that only has to be targeted. It can't be destroyed, and the stun doesn't have to ramp up. It is just a stun. Oh, I almost got mad there for a second. Hold on, had to calm down there for a second. See the problem here. So, like, one of these talents should be, like, giving Shaman either reducing the cooldown of Astral Shift or um, beefing up Astral Shift. Something, you know? And most of these you don't even use, right? You never take control, even control lava before. It was like a meme. You never take control to lava. You really never take surging waves. This this is basically what you do, right? And you would it's not even changing because I'm not in a fucking area, right? You mostly would just take Sky Fury total. Like you would take Spectral Recovery if you had 3 pack spirits, which is gone, so you'll probably not use that. You rarely ever use this except in 2 situations that most likely you never did because you could do better stuff. You never took this. Um, Counter Strike at the beginning, and sometimes you can get sneaky Counter Strikes. I like to take Counter Strike against Death Knights because Death Knights summon a lot of pets, and it's kind of hard to target. Um, I don't know, I feel like it makes it a little bit harder to target the totem, so it kind of can do some damage. Only good against classes with a lot of purges. You mostly always keep grounding totem unless you're playing against double melee, and then you pick one of the other options, and you never take anything. So you only take like 4 to 5 talents ever, ever. And they should be more useful, right? I would like to be switching out at least two of these about every game. I maybe not every game, but like there should be more. These should be more situational. Like this being 3 seconds is fucking dumb. It is. It's stupid. Like Shaman has no survivability, and about to backtrack here on something. All right, so only 3 classes out of this whole entire expansion, and they've been working on this expansion for a while now, have gotten class reworks. 3, right? And most classes play how they play in Legion. That's 2 expansions ago. And most still play the same way. Right? And like, if you look at Final Fantasy XIV, every major patch, they change something with about every class, and they change something with every class in every expansion, right? Like, in Final Fantasy, I play Bard and Dancer, right? And I know Realm Reborn Bard plays nothing like fucking Skybringer Bard, right? And each iteration is a little bit different. It mostly plays the same, but it's a little different. Um, I'll get into things right here, and I'll get into the Shaman rework idea I have here in a second. But because I got the idea expired by Dancer, but they don't change anything for an expansion. Like other MMOs expansions change most specializations, and they might play differently, but not fucking World of Warcraft. Uh, anyway, oh yeah, I forgot to mention we got Spearwalker's Grace back, and no complaints there. Spearwalker Grace enables Ascendance, which is great because I love Ascendance, and they took it away from us. As baseline, this is making me uneasy. That's really making me uneasy. Alright, let's see. Shaman with a raid spot, right? So Shaman doesn't really do big dick dams, and it doesn't have big dick utility, and it doesn't have any immunity. So I really, if I could have one question for Blizzard, I would ask why bring an LA Shaman. I really want to know where they see LA Shaman's place, because everything that a Shaman can do, another class can just do it better. If you need Bloodlust, you just get a Mage. And the Mage will do more damage than the Shaman to begin with. Most of the 3 specs will do more damage than a Shaman. And if it's an AoE thing, then you just change the spec of the Mage. Right? Then they just go Fire. Or even Arcane. If Arcane, I don't know which one's the best one. I think Frost is the best one. But even Frost has Strong Cleave too. So what's the point? What is the point? Alright, before I get it, I'm just letting the rant take me at this point. So my shaman rework. So I made a forum post a while back here, talking about my shaman rework, and I'll probably just talk about and a lot of other shaman stuff. So I'll probably talk about some of the stuff here, and I'll just go over the basis of my shaman rework because I don't want to go over the whole thing because I'll just link this into the description at the bottom so anybody that watches this can go check it out and give their opinions on it. And if you also scroll down here for a little bit, Barack Oshama also made a post here not too long ago. Actually, it was fucking long as. But also give his a read. It's really long, it's really lengthy, it's really thought out. So you should give his a read as well. He covers like all the talents and a lot of other stuff. So it's a good read. So my shaman rework. So my shaman rework was inspired by Dancer. So people that don't play Final Fantasy, Dancer plays like you hit your filler spell, and your filler spell here would proc your big filler spell, and then your big filler spell would proc a big nuke spell. But the nuke spell hits the main targets and it does AoE. And then your nuke spell here, well, I guess it's really a spender, but your spender here will proc a big nuke spell, and then it'll proc a bigger nuke spell. Right? And that's basically how Dancer plays for AoE and single target, essentially. I don't know if it's changed, because I haven't played it since, like, Vanilla Dancer. But that's basically how it plays. And I thought, like, that's a good playstyle for Shaman, because Elemental Shaman is supposed to be the master of elements, you're supposed to blend and weave elements together, right? But you don't. You don't. You fire, and you nature. And you frost if it is talented. And you never use water as damage, right? Never use the elements in a blend. You run out of fire, you use nature. If you're talented to frost, you use frost. I'm about to go on a tangent here. I just don't think they understand how to fucking make Shaman cool. And if you can literally just watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just watch Avatar, because Shaman is basically the Avatar, and there you go. Just make Shaman the Avatar. You can even give it a cooldown, like a fucking Avatar state cooldown. That would be fucking sick too. Right, so my rework essentially would be Ice Fury would become baseline, right? So what happened is Lava Surge would be tied, and this was like the early thought process of it. It would definitely need to be refined, because I thought about this a while back. I was like, that's kind of stupid. But so Flame Shock still works how it does. Flame Shock Lava Burst iteration still kind of works how it does. But Lightning Bolt would trigger Lava Surge, right? And then your Lava Surge, or actually just Lava Burst in general, Lava Burst could trigger Ice Fury. So then your Ice Fury's here. Your Frost Shock's from Ice Fury, because this would just become a buff. It just becomes a buff, but you get this effect, so you don't have to do the cast. So then the Ice Furies, no, Frost Shocks, my bad, would trigger a new wave that I called like Elemental Destruction or something like that. Or it can even trigger like a Stormkeeper. Or it can just trigger Earth Shock, right? And your Earth Shock has a chance to trigger something called Elemental Devastation, right? Which would be your big boy nuke AoE single target spell, right? And there you go. Reworked. New spell, new iteration. Yeah, it's kind of RNG based, but I think for Dancer in Final Fantasy 14, it's like a 50% chance. So you're not gonna go like you're gonna spam the button, but you're gonna get your thing, right? It's gonna be random, but it's a decent random. I think it is anyway. And then the mastery, where it's the fucking mastery, right? And the mastery, I thought of having something kind of tied to like Eye of the Twisting Nether, because I think Eye of the Twisting Nether should just be the mastery baseline anyway, because our mastery is useless, and it should just be a passive. Personally, like this, you know how many mastery changes Windwalker has gotten, but like we can't get this to change at all, and this has kind of been ass, except for like in memes. Whatever. I'm losing my thought process here. Alright, let's go into... Oh, okay, this one might be a lengthy one. Alright, so Covenants, right? Big old system for Shadowlands, right? So me personally, I like Necrolord. Right? I just like the whole aesthetic of like Necrolord, and I'm pretty sure Necrolord is the weakest one. Right? So the issue with Necrolord is tied to Flameshock Lava Burst, right? But with the nerf time to Flameshock and the cooldown that Flameshock has, you can only have 2 Flameshocks up on a target realistically. I don't know if I did this already. So you Flameshock this guy, right? 18 seconds. You got 5 seconds to Flameshock another target. You gotta wait here like a jackass. Then you Flameshock this guy. Then you gotta wait another 5 seconds like a jackass. And by the time that Flameshock comes up, 5 seconds left. You have to refresh this Flamestrike. Flameshock. Jeez, can't talk today. And then there you go. And you have to keep doing that. So you only have 2 targets. So with Primordial Wave, I'm thinking Warlock. That's Decimation Bolt. So Primordial Wave gives you another Flame Shock. That is the wrong button. It gives you a Flame Shock tied to it, right? So you can have 3 Flame Shocks up on a target and get 1 Lava Burst damage out of that. That does 80% normal Lava Burst damage. Right, so... What? Damn it, I was about to hit the Flame Shock and I hit the Lava Burst and I forgot it. Did not hit him with the Lava Burst. So, the problem here with that is, by the time you're able to achieve this combo, so what? This is a 10-second combo. So the ads have to live about, and in between globals too. So the ads would have to live about 15 seconds for you to get one triple meatball out. That turns into a septuple meatball, possibly. Alright. Chain Harvest, you hit 1 button, it hits 5 targets, it does 10k. Right, Lava Burst hits for about... So this does 600. Right, so this 1 button does 600. Or heals an ally for 600, whatever. Right, Lava Burst for me does about 2 point... What the fuck does it do? Right, let me get right here. There, that one did about 2.8, right? So, let's say Lava Burst hits for about 3k, so you get 3 Lava Bursts out, assuming they don't overload. So, it does like 9k on max Lava Burst. It doesn't on max Primordial Wave, right? In that one situation, it does that. Chain Harvest will always hit 5 if there is 5, and it will do more damage than that. The Night Fae one, it did about 6k for me single target on the next one, so I can only imagine AoE how much that's going to do. And then Vesper Totem for me single target hit for about 600. So times that by 3, no 40% conduit, so times that by 3, it does about, what is that, 6, 12, 18. So it does about 2k, given you'll probably get 1 crit. So it does about 2k, right? And that also does AoE. That hits everybody. So that'd be 2k, hitting 5 targets, you doing nothing, that's 10k. Right, that's 10k instant damage. That's like going to be like 20k instant damage. This is like 10k instant damage that hits 5 targets. This is a 15-second setup where you gotta hope people live. And the payoff isn't even equal any of these other ones. Because it fucking nerfs your Lava Burst too. So what is the purpose of this ability? Why does it exist? And I'm sure they're still tuning and stuff and yada yada, all that stuff. But Shadowlands is probably definitely coming out before the end of the year. I think that is a definite, because they didn't say they're going to push it back into next year. I feel they would have said that. So definitely coming out in the next 2 months. And this has gotten nerfed. Promoter Wave has gotten nerfed, because Promoter Wave used to do as much damage as an elemental blast. I shouldn't say a lava burst. It used to do as much damage as an elemental blast, and it didn't have this reduced lava burst damage on it. Right? The issue is that you'll never be able to get consistently out quick flame shocks. Right? And you're going to just, and potentially, because there's a conduit that makes this, there's a conduit that makes this not incur a cooldown. So it has the most potential, but it's so situational. You'll never get to see it at max power. And that's where we come back to Liquid Magma Totem. So I have an idea that makes Liquid Magma Totem actually fucking useful, right? The whole specialization of Ellie Shaman or Shaman in general really just ramp up. And the reason why Ellie is down here and most of these other classes are pushing it down is because they don't have ramp up stuff. They can just go, right? You have to ramp up to your Earthquake if you don't have any Maelstrom, or save your Maelstrom and lose damage anyway for the AoE situation. So you gotta save that shit or generate up to it, and it takes fucking like 5 globals to generate up to it. Unless you get lucky. Actually, no, I think it might still take like 5 globals. Yeah, it's 10. That's 60. So at least take 6. If you get lucky, it takes at least 6 globals. At least. Where was I? Alright, so Liquid Magma Totem. Why can't Liquid Magma Totem just apply Flame Shock? It does all the yeeting stuff, but it also applies Flame Shock when you yeet it. When you personally yeet it, while it is yeeting out meatballs, it also applies Flame Shock to everybody it hits. Right? Potentially, that would essentially make you a god. Because, let's see, but you cap it. You just cap it at 5, right? Because if you capped it at 8, oh my god. You cap it at 5 here. So you're going to do 5 meatballs, and then if it doesn't incur a cooldown, but I mean, eventually your luck's going to run out, right? So if it's not going to constantly be that way. Right, so then you can instantly Primordial Wave and instantly Lava Burst. And there you go. And that also would instantly give you, that would probably give you an Earthquake too. So your AoE is just there. Obviously, unless you used all your shit. But even if you used it and you haven't used Liquid Magma Totem, you have something to throw out. You have Liquid Magma Totem is doing damage, it's putting Flame Shocks, and the Flame Shocks are generating you Lava Surge, so you're getting mad Lava Surge proc, so you're going to just get that Earthquake all the more quicker. So there's just no reason why Liquid Magma Totem can also apply Flame Shock, and like, you don't even need fucking Surge of Power. The Surge of Power doesn't really help the situation if there's like 5 fucking targets. Because you have to generate the Earth Shock. You have to generate 2 Earth Shocks to get 4 out. Right? But by the time you get 4 out, you have to reapply the first fucking 2. But so then you have to generate enough Maelstrom to do this damn thing again. It's just so fucking pointless. And if you go single target with the conduit, I'm just like going all over the place here. And if you go single target with the conduits too, this one hits for like 2k straight up. Yeah, this one hit for like 6k straight up, and this one hits for about 2k straight up. And this thing hits for like 600. Right? And single target, if you already have a lava burst, it doesn't benefit you. If anything, it kind of nerfs your lava burst. Because when you throw out your lava burst, it's going to take that one, unless it shows out like 2 lava. I think it actually might throw out 2 lava bursts, right? But I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Cause I've had, I'm about to try it right here. I just don't really think it gives you an extra lava burst. Cause if it gave you an extra lava burst, then okay, fine. Then it gives you some kind of single target benefit. Was that an overload? That was an overload. That was 1 lava burst. I don't know why this thing's still. Oh, because I'm still in fucking combat with all these kids. Right, that was 1 lava burst. And I got 1 overload. So that's not a consistent thing either. So this literally potentially gives you no single target advantage whatsoever. Right? And it reduces your lava burst damage. Personally, I think that this should just buff your lava burst damage, and per flame shock you have on the target should reduce the damage. That way you get something out of its single target, or just spike the damage of this up. Like, this should hit harder than Lava Burst. Right? This is the class ability you get for the entire expansion. This should hit harder than Lava Burst.